games at?
Where are the games?
Where are the games?
It's dry. Where are the games?
I kind of keep waiting for them to do their thing.
I don't see anything.
These are easily the most pointless upgrades I've ever experienced.
What is the point of buying a console if you can just make a PC?
If you're gonna everything on PC, why not just buy a PC and then console?
Where are the games? Where are the deadlines? Where are the projects? Where are the teases? Like, it feels weird that it's like,
Why buy consoles?
Now comes the fun part. We get to see how the development community takes advantage of that feature set.
Alright guys, this is your boy like one half of Enduro, and as you see how the introduction is, we are going to be introduction. And I've talked about this, of course, you guys know that, but we do need to talk about that part of with the generation. Now again, it's funny, a lot of people talk about Nintendo out of the context, mean like, oh, Nintendo, oh, they're just family friendly, we push them out. But then they talk about PC, Sony, and Microsoft. Now, that's good. Sony and Microsoft makes, and PC makes up majority, and mobile. Mobile make up most of it, then Sony, Microsoft, PC, you put them in there, and Nintendo makes a chunk as well, too. But, again, my stance always has been, and always will be, we are video gamers. We play video games. It's good to have a console. I have a PlayStation 5. I have a Nintendo Switch. I've bought games for my PlayStation 5 just recently, and I got PlayStation, and I got and I think I found a way to fix my PlayStation Vita. Thank goodness. I hope so. I need some money to do that, but yeah. What else can I say other than that's good to know? But without the game, it's just like a car. Without gas, you ain't going nowhere. Well, if you're an electric car, without electricity, you ain't going nowhere. You need the thing itself. You need the most important part of that equation, and we need the games. So that's what we need. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video here. So I'm gonna use Tech Nirvana's video to go into this. Like I said, I explained this multiple times all through this year with the first breakdown with where's the games, and now with Generation N. So kind of coming full circle with this, but hey, you guys have been liking this series so far, so I'm gonna keep on pumping out good content for this series. Let's jump into it.
Games. We just need games. Okay, well that's not entirely the case. There's a few more details and points to cover, but that's the majority of the solution here. The 9th generation of consoles are failing for a multitude of reasons, of which I won't get into here. There's plenty of videos that dive into all the shortcomings of this generation, so if you've somehow dodged the entire conversation, I'll have some videos linked in the description that you should probably check out. But moving on, I think most people can agree that this generation's really lacking. The reveal of a PS5 Pro certainly doesn't help things. So what does the 9th generation need to make things right? Well, an actual reason to own the console would be nice. By that, I mean games, obviously.
We'll get back to that. People keep on saying this. We had a PlayStation 4 Slim and a PlayStation 4 Pro. So a PlayStation 5 Pro does not astound me, okay? It just doesn't. We usually just have the Slims. Now we have the Pros. That's the way it is. That's the new composition, because remember we had a PlayStation 2, kind of like a slim version. Then we had a PlayStation 3 Slim. Now we have a PlayStation 5 Slim, 4 Slim, and a Pro. So, yeah. Nothing new.
True exclusive games as well, a longer console lifespan, and just more games. Like, a lot. So let's start from the top. This is the most straightforward point, and I probably don't need to explain any further, but let me get into the finer details here. Now, although it's true that the 9th generation needs more meat on its bones, it's a bit deeper than just give me more games. Behind the scenes, games take way more time and money than they've ever needed. I'm not too sure about the average budget, since it does vary depending on the game, but if recent reports are anything to go by, it's safe to say that games take tens of millions of dollars to make at minimum. As for how long they take to develop, it's at least 3 years, but usually goes up to 4 years or more for most first-party titles. And with us being 4 years into this console generation, it's no surprise to see so many first-party games released as cross-generation titles. They were most likely meant for PS4, but also enhanced for PS5 as a small bonus and to keep up to date. And right now, it's more common to see game announcements than actual games coming out because they just
Exactly.
take so long to develop. The Xbox Showcase comes to mind. The console
And that's been happening from since Gen 8. So when we got into Gen 8, and I started seeing that, since I started my channel, I've been talking about that. Like, we've been getting a lot of these games, and then they're taking years and years and years to come. Because remember when people used to be into E3, like, oh my God, this got to reveal at E3. It's like, I mean, that got revealed in 2017. But we ain't seen nothing until 2021. What the hell? 2020. See, that's why I laugh when people used to knock the Wii U. I was like, wait, that year people used to say the 2015 was a bad year. The 15 was good because of Smash. The other one, this is a bad year for every game that Nintendo announced that year. I've done that video multiple times. For the Wii U, came out. Every game that they announced came out the year after. So, at least they did that. At least they put out their products compared to other consoles. And Xbox, don't get me started on Xbox. Again, I had high hopes for Phil Spencer when he first started, when he took over Don Matrick. But it looked like Don Matrick was correct, and Phil Spencer is just a charlatan. Yeah, man, just put out games. That's how it is. That's why you guys are losing.
itself doesn't have many games to its name, but there's certainly a lot of announcements for future releases.
Exactly.
So what's the solution to this? Well, as far as I know, speeding up development only ends up in crunch or unfinished games.
Yep.
So that's completely off the table. How about having smaller games in between major releases?
Oh, come on, kid. I've said that multiple times. Come on, kid. You can't have that. That makes too much sense. And we know a lot of people don't have common sense, neither simple sense, because I've said that. Why we don't have small games in there between there than the big games? That's what Nintendo's been doing. Some of them have been remakes. Hey, but the remakes that people wanted. Because again, y'all wanted Mario RPG. Here you come, 1,000 Year Door. Here you go. Oh, it's remakes. Yeah, but how much people on the damn internet bitch them all? Oh, we'll never get this game for our console. We'll never get this, blah, 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 blah. Here's a remake. You can go and buy the old stuff. You can get the Nintendo, Super Nintendo Mini if you want to get RPG. Or you could buy the remake. You have options, my G. Options, which is a good thing for customers. Don't be a consumer, be a customer. Options.
Maybe 1 or 2 spin-offs per year, with 1 or 2 big games each year as well. Obviously, third-party titles are meant to fill the void to some degree, but for beefing up the exclusive libraries of these consoles, that's the best way to approach it.
Exactly.
Smaller games should also take less dev time, and hopefully with different teams on each game output should be more frequent. And on the plus side, this gives Xbox and PlayStation good reason to use many of their older IPs,
Yeah.
since games from other franchises can be a bit more simplistic when it comes to the development process. I don't think games like Blinks or Ape Escape require motion capture or ray tracing.
Exactly.
They can use it, but it's not needed. And it's clear that this kind of development routine works, because not only was it somewhat prevalent in previous generations, but it's been working wonders for Nintendo, who seem to have, at the very least, 7 exclusive first-party games releasing within a single year.
Thank you. Thank you. Look at that. Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem. New game. Kirby's Deluxe. Remade. But hey, it's a game. Metroid. Remake. But it's a game and people have been asking for it. 1+2. A Game Boy game that's released on the Switch. Remade, but it's a game. Zelda Twilight, I keep on saying Twilight because of the T. Tears of the Kingdom, new game. From the ground up that took years, whatever. Again, Pikmin, 1+2. A remake of 2 games combined, so people want to get into it. Pikmin 4, new game. Mario Wonders, new game. And Mario Super RPG. Super Mario RPG. Old game, but really old for Super Nintendo. So you have, let me see, you have Super Nintendo, you have Wii, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, and Super Nintendo games that got remade 10 to 20 years later. But it's there. Sprinkling with Fire Emblem, which is new, Zelda, which is new, Pikmin 4, which is new, Mario Wonder, which is new. That's how you make. That's why Nintendo has been selling. And Nintendo, do not forget this in your next console, please. Now you did not forget it in the Wii U. That was again half was your problem, half of it was your problem messing around. But majority, no, I would say half. 40% was your problem. 60% was gamers being stupid and the industry just effing over you, which is messed up. That's why you do things on your own. Don't rely yourself on other people.
Some being smaller spin-offs or remakes, while others are new big title releases. And speaking of exclusive games, we need more of them.
Yep.
And we need to actually keep them exclusive.
Yes.
It's one thing to have so little to play on your new system. It's another thing to not even need that new console when all of your games port over to PC after 1 year. Look, I'm all for having these games on PC. The convenience is simply impossible to beat, especially when beefy PCs can have better specs and performance over the current consoles.
But they don't sell as
Add
well
in
as the
use of a
consoles.
Steam Deck, and that's all your games on the go. However, this comes at an extreme detriment to consoles and their libraries.
Yep.
A good example is Xbox. Not only are they struggling in terms of game output, but their games are never exclusive to their main machines. As soon as a game releases exclusively on Xbox Series X or S, that same game is also playable on PC. Redfall? On PC.
Yep.
Hi-Fi Rush? Also on PC and PS5. Halo Infinite, their premier franchise and icon of Xbox, also on PC. Okay, so what's the point of getting an Xbox then?
Exactly.
No, because that's also available on PC. Backwards compatibility. Sure, but you most likely have an Xbox One on standby, so just use that instead. Even then, some games aren't supported through backwards compatibility, even if you have the physical disc. What about
Exactly.
older games on Xbox 360 and older? I mean, aside from Game Pass, which already does that, some 360 games and older either have ports via Steam or can be played through emulators, assuming you've dumped your own physical copy onto your PC.
Yep.
And in turn, that also defeats the purpose of enhanced games on the Series X, since PC emulators are also capable of high resolutions and frame rates. So unless you have no PC or no Xbox One, which is fairly unlikely, then there's very little reason to own an Xbox Series console.
Exactly.
How about PlayStation? They have some exclusives, right?
Some.
Sure. About 4 of them. Spider-Man 2, Stellar Blade, Astral's Playroom, and Astrobot. That's it. And if you want to include VR games for some reason, then bump it up to about 6 games. About 4 years on the market, and the PS5 has about 6 exclusive games to its name. Now, to clarify, I'm talking about games that are truly exclusive to the PS5.
Yep.
So no remasters, no cross-generation games, no remakes, and no games that have PC ports. With that stipulation, and as of making this video, you're left with 4 exclusive games to choose from. That is miserable for a console already lacking in actual game output.
It is.
The main culprit is, again, exclusivity. Some games that release on PS5 are exclusive, yes, but are usually timed exclusives. So after a year or two, that game's free to port over to PC, sometimes with a few unique enhancements as well. It's done so frequently and so consistently that I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man 2 and Stellar Blade were ported over to PC next
It
year.
will.
The only exceptions being the Astro games, because those have the PlayStation branding all over it. So for Xbox and PlayStation, the lack of exclusivity defeats any reason to own their current consoles. What's the point of spending hundreds of dollars to play games that I can just play either on a last-gen system if it's cross-gen, or on my PC after a year or so? Especially when the PC ports provide more options and enhancements than their console counterparts. Now, I know that there's a counter-argument to this. PC gaming can be expensive, as it costs much more to build or buy a gaming PC compared to just buying a new console. And PC gaming can also come with its own issues that you won't see playing on a console. So for convenience and for easier entry into the latest games, a console is a good option,
It's the
right?
best option.
What is this weird new wearable?
Well, yeah. I can't deny that consoles are much more accessible. That's one of their main selling points, after all.
Yep.
However, PC gaming has slowly gotten cheaper throughout the years, and you don't always need the strongest parts to play the latest games.
Yeah, that's true.
Besides, this is a PC you're getting, not just a console. So along with playing the latest games, you can also watch movies and videos, create art, stream, Photoshop, animate, or even mod the games you own on PC. Yes, it costs more and might take more work to get a gaming PC, but as a trade-off, you get much more out of it. In exchange for accessibility, you get versatility. But if you already have a PC or aren't interested in any of that stuff, then getting a console isn't too bad of an option.
No.
Regardless, having your exclusive library fly over to PC makes the purchase of a 9th gen console seem less valuable. And even in the case of timed exclusives, it's just not enough. In some ways, it can be more detrimental to a game if it's a timed exclusive instead of just porting it over to PC on launch. When a game launches exclusively on PS5, some PC players prefer to wait for it to come to PC. But after a year or two, they might have lost interest and moved on. So sometimes an immediate PC port can be beneficial, like how Xbox is doing it. Yes, it ruins the entire point of exclusivity to begin with, but if you're planning on porting over your games to PC in a year anyways, why not just do it immediately? The launch of a game sells much more than it does after a year or two, thanks to pre-launch hype and whatnot. So why not capitalize on that with a PC port so your game spreads to a wider audience? But on the other hand, how about keeping the games exclusive forever, like it used to be? Or at the very least, longer than 2 years. I know that PC ports sell pretty well, and to be fair, selling games are meant to make up for the losses of selling consoles. But come on, give people more reason to buy your shiny piece of plastic, especially for Xbox. They're in shambles trying to sell their stuff. Not exactly easy when your CEO says stuff like, making great games wouldn't sell more consoles. Anyhow, here's another argument I should also consider.
Still puzzles
it's true that timed exclusives are still, exclusive. Some people don't want to wait a year or more for a game to come to PC, especially for bigger games like God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2. And some people prefer to have a dedicated machine for gaming in places like their living room, as opposed to a small desk in their bedroom or something. And honestly, that's a fair argument. If you don't mind the games porting to PC, the lack of true exclusive...
That's the part that's holding me back, and I will give him that. Let's rewind that again.
And just want to some people don't want to wait a year or more for a game to come to PC, especially for bigger games like God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2. And some people prefer to have a dedicated machine for gaming in places like their living room, as opposed to a small desk in their bedroom or something. And honestly, that's a fair argument. If you...
And that's why I don't game on PC. I really don't, because again, right now, as you guys hear all the clicks and stuff, of course, for those know, I'm working. I'm in front of a PC while I'm doing this. I'm doing CAD work, and doing this right here is work. And then when I do music or editing videos for my company, that's what I want to do. I want to sit down and do that stuff, because when I'm in here, I'm in that space. I don't want to add playing games. I don't want to. I've got burned out on video games back in 2000s. I've talked about this story a lot, but the the too long don't read section is, I got burned down. I was like, I was burned out from RPGs because I used to love RPGs. Pokemon burned me out on RPGs, but then lucky for me, Metroid Prime came, Prime Fusion, and also Tales of Symphonia. Those games brought me back because I was literally not playing no games at all. I was nothing. But that brought me back, and I'm playing games again. So I've been at, and I don't want to be looking at games and then getting meshed in that it's work, and I don't want that. That's not good for me in that regard. I like to have it. That's why when I play games, when you guys see me do game and chill, it's on my big screen TV you seeing that on. It's not no PC. So to Sprite with his no scan lines, widescreen, ew. It's on a big screen TV, all right? That's what it is. It's arcade style setup, man. All right, shut up. Literally, shut up. But that's how I feel about it.
Don't mind the games porting to PC, the lack of true exclusives, and just want a console to play the latest games by Xbox or PlayStation, then more power to you. Some people prefer to have a console because it's simpler, and at that point it's all up to preference. It's just that the lack of incentive is something that most people can't ignore, mainly those who already own a PC or don't mind playing on a last-gen machine. And here's one more thing I should mention. Back in December 2023, right when the PS5 turned 4 years old, PlayStation stated that the PS5 was in the latter half of its life cycle, meaning that it's now halfway through its lifespan. And in my opinion, that is a terrible statement to make, After 4
Correct.
years, all you have on your backs are full whole games to your flagship console. 3 of those years spent on a dry launch, redundant remasters, countless PC ports, and multiple cross-gen releases. The original games being made for PS5 take years to make. Even simpler games like Astro Bot, which had no voice acting, motion capture, or focus on a deep story, took 4 whole years to create. Give your console more time to breathe so that developers can actually release games for your dying libraries.
Yep.
The main problem with an 8-year lifespan is that it's the same lifespan of previous console generations. That worked before because games didn't take as long to develop as they do now. But in today's age, 4 of those 8 years are spent making one game. If they're making the current gen last as long as before, you're going to be left with well under half of the previous gen's library.
Yes.
Besides, the graphical leap between 8th and 9th gen consoles
It's
is
nothing.
the smallest it's ever been.
Yeah.
So in about 4 years, once a new console drops in the market, what's going to be the point of getting it? The upgrades are going to be so minuscule, and unless there's a significant technological breakthrough in the next 4 years that makes the PS6 worth buying, then I don't see a reason for the PS5 dying off just after 8 years. It's much better to keep these consoles alive for longer, since a new console will most likely be pointless.
That's why I would like to tell my people on my Nintendo Switch, oh, it's an old console, it's 8 years old, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Does it play games? Yes. Play the damn games. That's what the point is. Play the damn games. I'm a video gamer. I play games. Ain't no way I can. Again, I have the video. I just got to edit the hell out of it. It's going to take long as crap. Whew. It's going to take long to do it. I'm trying to figure out ways to make it like the edit. They don't, that it won't take that long. But like I said, to play the thing is going to be that much hours. But let's see. But yeah, play the damn game. I have me and my like I said, we have over 142 unique titles in our Switch library. That's physical. That's not including digital. It's gonna take us years. And some of those games are some RPGs. They're gonna be some long hours. I have at least about, I don't know, wait, how much do I have? SRW, Tales of Arise, Astrobot, Dragon Quest, Stellar Blade, Visions of Mana, because I'm getting that next. I got that game coming. Of course, I want Sakura Wars. I want to get Sakura Wars. That's in the list. Dragon Heroes 1 and 2, the hack and slash beat 'em up. That's 2. So that's 3 to 4 that I got on my list. Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16. The Naughty Dog's last collection with Uncharted. So that's 11. I know another game I had, I can't remember it. Oh, Metaphoric. So that's 12. My thing has always been this. If I ain't gonna buy more than 10 games for a console, I'm not buying a console. Excuse me. My PlayStation Vita has 11 games that I have, a couple of digital, but 11 games. If I can't buy 10 games, I'm not buying a console that I see is worth it, and I get that. So the PlayStation, that's the exact same thing. And again, 3 of those are PlayStation 4 games. So, yeah.
And it would allow actual games to drop on the PS5. Personally, I think this generation launched half-baked.
Yes.
With a lack of true exclusives and over-reliance on cross-generation titles, there were many games that never felt like they were truly made with a PS5 or Xbox Series in mind.
Yes.
Sure, there's a handful of titles that make use of ray tracing, fast load times, and other unique features. But most games, especially third parties, also launch on the PS4 or Xbox One.
Yep.
Because those consoles are still very capable in terms of graphics and performance.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're not the best experiences, but they're still playable on those older machines, or even PC if there's a port for it. And in my opinion, the focus on having games look sharper and more dense for a pro console is almost meaningless. If your
It is.
promotional material has to zoom in very close to show some enhancements, which 90% of people can't even notice, then it's a clear sign of wasted resources. A good enhancement probably would have been higher frame rate output, like 120 FPS as a new standard option. Both Xbox and PlayStation advertised it, but I've only seen a handful of games actually utilize it. How about
Bingo.
having modern games run at that frame rate consistently? That's something that most games could really benefit from, because they're games. Better readability provides better response time and overall game feel. I don't need to see more grass or cars in the distance. The base
Exactly.
console does that just fine. I can only hope that this generation can offer something beyond my expectations and finally give me a good reason to buy the most powerful console on the market. But if Xbox and Sony are keen on porting their games to PC, then I guess I'll save my money for something better.
Hey, I got nothing against that. That is good. That is a good video, and I applaud with that person. He's correct. That's the way I feel about some of this stuff too. That's why I preach the stuff that I'm talking about. No, I love this hobby of gaming. Right? It has got me through some good times and got me some horrible times. Okay, I mean, I'll be honest with you. This year has been one of my roughest years in a long time. I think the last time I was rough was 2017. 2015 was rough. 2006 was definitely rough. Those some years. That was some rough years, and gaming has got me through it. It really has, and I'm happy for all of it. But on a serious note, it is just, I see the writing on the wall. That's why, unlike other people, I'm happy for the Nintendo Switch. I'm happy for the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation. Since I got PlayStation 5 and the Vita. The games out there that I wanted to play that I play. Holy crap. I just look at a video for PlayStation Vita, a game that I have. It is worth $400. Damn. I bought that thing for I think I bought it for $30. It's worth $400. Holy smokes. That is ridiculous. But whatever. And with shit like that, that's why I want physical, baby. Physical for the win. But with that said, I thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Generation N. Hope you guys like that, enjoying that. We'll catch you on the next time. And remember, there's no perfect games out there. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy games on all consoles, including PC. Peace out.